up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, Protea Prime is released, and we'll be going over my favorite builds for Protea today. Lots of different helmets work on her, but I've got like 2 or 3 that I really like, so let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure to sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. A bunch of this testing actually was done way before. Protea has not changed much, but there's been some new mods and Archon Shards and items that make her even more powerful than ever. We'll be going over those today as well. So let's get right into it. Also might be live tonight with some more Protea farming. There's no Void Cascade build in here, but that's what I'll be changing tonight. Maybe doing some Void Cascade with Protea. Alright, let's first off starting comparing Protea Prime stats and Protea normal stats. So on the Prime, you get 50 more armor and 25 more energy. The 50 extra armor really doesn't do anything because of the shield regeneration frame and shield tanking frame. The 25 extra energy, though, is kind of nice. You can just get you more energy, basically. So we're going to go over lots of builds here, but let's start off with the no Helminth build because the other ones have a lot to go over. So we've got the no Helminth Protea build here, and as far as new items that are being used, depending how new we're talking here, we got an augment called Temporal Erosion for Protea that makes her 4th ability, while it's active, will cause your heat turrets and slash nades to armor remove enemies. So that's pretty good. Additionally, we've got Equilibrium mod on here, which makes it where we get energy health orbs turn to energy orbs and vice versa. Her dispensary ability drops orbs every few seconds, so that's great. Now, if you don't want to run this, you don't have to if you have a purple Tau Shard with energy to health conversion. It's like a mini equilibrium right here. I put this mod on the build just because a lot of players don't have that purple shard, but on some of the other builds we will not have this mod on there, so we can have an extra mod slot but still have this effect from the shard. As far as arcanes, we're going to have Molt Augmented on kill, increased power strength, and Molt Efficiency. While our shields are active, we get increased duration. And one of her abilities, Grade Fan, gives you shields if you do the hold version of it. I have inverted cast ability, so I just tap the ability basically. I would recommend that you do that as well. As far as new mods, we've got the Precision Intensify mod, giving our 4th ability more strength. That means we get more armor strip from the augment, as the augment does scale with strength. Let's just go ahead and hop into the test real quick. And of course, like I said, invert hold cast, I would recommend that on Protea for easy shield gate. How do you change that? You go here, and you just go down to Protea, inverted, okay? Alright, so as far as what we're doing here, I'm going to hopefully not insta-kill everything, because this dog is for a different build I'll show later, and the dog makes things a little bit, they just die a little bit too quickly. So we got level 225 Exo Gokstad Steel Path Officers. These enemies literally don't even exist. They just exist in the simulacrum. These enemies are never on the Steel Path. So the way this works, you cast Proteus 4, and then you just use some heat turrets. And as you can see, armor's gone, and they're done for. This is a no Helminth build. Now, if you don't like deactivate her 4, you will get dragged back in time to wherever you first cast the ability. So if you hold the ability button again, it will cancel the going back in time thing. So yeah, that's going to be the way you can not get sent back in time every time you want to use your 4. Now you can of course just tap it again to do it instantly, but yeah, it's not really a super popular ability. Well, it's popular if you use the augment, but yeah, this is just a no Helminth build for players that don't want to use Helminth all the time, or maybe don't even have Helminth. And why am I going invisible? We'll show that later. So yeah, full armor strip very easily. It takes like about two bullets to fully armor strip these guys. And yeah, just don't forget to deactivate your 4 before you go back in time, because that could be kind of annoying. The more kills you get, the more power strength you get. As far as our other Archon Shards, we got 2 casting speed Tau Shards, because she's a very ability cast heavy frame, and 2 duration shards, as the longer your heat turrets last, the more damage they can dish out. It's very important to have good duration on Protea. You could put power strength on here instead. It's just not really needed on this build, because we already have so much power strength with Precision Intensify on our 4. And the heat turrets do a lot of damage even without that much power strength. Alright, so that's going to be the no Helminth build. Before we go over the one I recommend and the one I like the most, let's go over some of the older builds. So we got a Larva build here, and unfortunately, I consider this build out of date. Why is it out of date? Because, well, first off, what is this build meant for? You throw down the Larva, the Helminth ability of Nidus, it pulls all the enemies together. The more enemies that your heat turrets hit, the more damage they deal, so if we group them all together, you get tons of extra hits of damage really quick. But the problem with this in 2024 is that there's Eximus enemies with overguard nowadays. Back in the day, overguard didn't exist. You could just grab every Xmas in the room and pull them into one spot. So there's no Xmas here, thankfully, but let's just show how this works. So one heat turret should be able to take care of them, no problem. So we don't have any armor strip, unfortunately, but they have, like, you know, what, 100 heat procs or whatever it was, and they should all be dead. That's another problem with Larva, is you have goofy stuff like this happening, because she finally got pulled into the center. Like, it's just kind of outdated feeling, honestly. The main build I'll be recommending to you is the one that uses the Roar Helminth. And I'm just telling you right now, we do not need this grouping ability anymore, because the heat turrets with Roar deal so much damage, it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, if you do want to use Larva still, just make sure you have a lot of range. Good amount of strength can be good too. But yeah, it's mainly range and duration for the Larva build. I would not really recommend it in 2024. But yeah, 18.8 grab radius, 12.95 duration. You might want to even throw on the Larva Augment if you have it. Larva Burst to manually detonate the larva, so it's not going to be, like, if there's an enemy stuck on a wall like you just saw right there, it won't be like a waste of your time. But yeah, I don't really recommend this build in 2024 anymore. It can still get the job done, but yeah, since overguarded enemies are not grabbed by the larva, it's not really worth it to me. A build that is still pretty good, I'd say, is going to be the Gloom build for Protea. Now, Gloom from Sebagoth makes an AOE slow around you, and one of Protea's passives is every 4 abilities she casts, she gets 100% extra ability strength on the next ability. So what you can do is you can snapshot the power strength on Gloom. So what we've got Precision Intensify giving 90% strength to our Gloom, because it's the 4th ability. We've subsumed off her 4, and Precision Intensify only works on your 4, so that's pretty good here. We got Molt Augmented for more power strength, and we got Growing Power, and we also have Matter-Eye Focus Tree. It might look like 40% strength right there, but once everything's stacked up, it's maximum Gloom slow, so that's great. Let's go ahead and show how that works now. I'm not going to have 250 Molt Augmented stacks in the Simulacrum, but as you can see, the ability strength buff is active, so all we got to do is we just got to activate Gloom. Actually, let's use Matter-Eye Dash as well. And I'm going to actually unpause these enemies so we can just show how that works. Okay, so Gloom. Oh, I also have recast it. So you can easily get it back. Just cast a couple nades, and there you go. Enemies are quite slow. So they really can't fight back, and if we get damage, just throw on your shield nades, get your shields back. Those Protea shield nades do give you a lot of shield regen. They actually give you longer shield gate, but that's going to be a big thing. If you are trying to do like a min-max Protea build, I have an unfortunate glitch I have to explain to you today. The Augur mod set and the Brief Respite mod, for that matter, are glitched out with Protea's shield nades. If you have Augur mods or Brief Respite on your build, you will be getting less shield gate than if you had none of those on there, because the little small amount of shields it gives you at the beginning from using a Brief Respite or Augur mod, that overrides her increased shield gate from her shield nades. So if you are doing, like I said, if you're doing a min-maxed Protea build, you don't want any Augur mods, and preferably you don't want any Brief Respite either. Now, if you're in a squad mission, you can't tell your teammates what to run. I guess you technically could before if you're pre-made, but if you have Augur mods, ruins your shield gate from your 1. If you have Brief Respite, will also ruin your shield getting from your 1. Depending on what kind of content you're playing, it might not matter as much, but for, Steel Path and all that, don't run this, and don't run Augur mods, I'd recommend to you. Okay, so that's going to be the Gloom build, the Larva build, and the Helminth build. Let's go ahead and show my main Protea build. It's going to be the Roar Mecha Dog build. Yes, there's a lot to go over here, but this is my main recommended build, at least for survival missions, which is where I usually run Protea. Just going over what this does. This build is meant for being permanently invisible, and also having a dog that can AoE kill everything. So, as far as, this is the gameplay footage right here. Whenever you go invisible, you can cast heat turrets and not lose invis. That's just how the Huraz, I think it's called the Huraz Kubrow works. And these heat turrets are decent against Acolytes. Not the best against Acolytes, but yeah, you can just kind of just hang out on the Steel Path and get free loot just by standing there. So, I'm going to go over all the things used in this build. There's a lot. I'm just going to give you a preface. This is a lot of stuff to go over, and I do have a full build video on this if you only want to focus on this build, okay? So, let's get into it. But as you can see, you stay invisible while you're using your abilities with this Huraz Kubrow. We've also got the Grimoire, which is a newish item. And the Grimoire is quite nice with Protea, because the longer your heat turrets last, the more damage they can dish out. And there's a mod for the Grimoire that gives you 60% extra duration. So let's get right into it. Okay, so we're back in the sim, and again, the Helminth on this one is going to be Roar from Rhino. In the gameplay footage, I actually had overextended instead of stretch, and I actually thought about it a little more. It's like the heat turret range with stretch is 43.5 meters. With overextended, it is going to be 57 meters. But like realistically, when would you ever need 57 meters of turret range? The range is better for the shield, the slash nades, which gives you a 9.5 radius with overextended. It goes up like 7.25 with stretch, but you get so much more power strength. So that's what I'm kind of going for. So between all the power strength we have, and multi-augmented, and her passive, you're getting like 150% extra damage with your heat turrets, which is very, very nice and powerful. Now, what do these mecha mods do? Mecha Empowered is going to make it where your Kubrow is going to mark an enemy once every 15 seconds, and when that enemy dies, it will spread the status effect in a 30-meter radius. So that means you are getting 30-meter radius AOE heat turrets that go through walls. Well, once every 15 seconds, that is. Now, going over some of the other things on here, Mecha Pulse. This mod is, unfortunately, it's basically needed. If you take off any of the Mecha bonus, the bonus gets massively reduced. So we take this off. Every 15 seconds, it marks an enemy and it's an AoE of 30 meters. I take one of them off, it goes down to once every 30 seconds, and it's only a 22-meter radius. So you have double the uptime if you put Mecha Pulse on here, even though it doesn't really do anything for us. Even though Protea Prime's armor got buffed, no one's actually caring about armor on Protea. But yeah, killing an enemy will give you killing an enemy that's marked will give you armor. And then, you know, who cares? Honestly, who cares about that? It's more about just the mecha set bonus. Got Prime Continuity for longer heat turrets, Stretch for more heat turret range. Archive Vitality is a very important mod on Protea. Now, you don't have to have it maxed out like me, but might as well if you have the mod capacity for it. It will make it where your heat turrets deal double heat procs. That's really good. And as far as the mod here, I took out Equilibrium for Constitution, longer duration. Now, you could put on, like, if you're like, okay, well, that's enough duration for me, dude. You could technically put, like, a Dash Polarity mod there, and you could put Precision Intensify right here for more power strength. But I didn't really feel like it was necessary. Where's that mod? If you want even more Roar power strength, you could do that, but you're going to be losing out on the duration front. So it's up to you, really, if you want to run more power strength or more duration. I feel like more duration was better, but whatever, honestly. It's a flexible build. Protea's a flexible frame. Yeah, the rest, Prime Flow for good energy. Rolling Guard, in case you have like a status proc on you, because she does not cleanse status procs with her nades. This will give you plenty of uptime to be invincible to recast your stuff. Alright, let's just go over how this works in the sim. And this is, reminder, we don't have any Equilibrium on here because we are actually, we are actually running, okay, here we go. I thought they were paused for a second. We are not running Equilibrium because we have that purple Tau Shard. Now, see that enemy right there that has the dog mark on their head? Once they die, they will spread the fire proc in a 30-meter AoE. If you see that enemy that's basically marked for dog, they're done. They're done for. So that's really what you want to be looking for is the dog mark. Now, thankfully, you don't have to actually look out for it. But let's just go ahead and show how the dog works in an actual normal mission. Or in a normal situation. So we attack the enemy because the AI for the dog is pretty bad. And with this juiced up dog is doing a bunch of slash procs in every hit. And the slash proc will spread because of some of the bond mods we have. And yeah, the dog just wiped all of them out. As you saw, I only attacked with them with melee once. So yeah, and of course that does work with your heat turrets too. You'll be able to do that AoE stuff with your heat turret. You've got a very min-max dog here. So 2 slash procs, 5 slash procs. And now we are running a special dog stat stick right now in my primary slot, the Paris Prime Incarnon. Some other weapons would work too, like the Strun Incarnon, and I think like the Kuva Comb could even work, but let's go over what is actually how is the dog doing this? What is going on here? And I'm also not done talking about weapons, by the way. The Grimoire is also very good with what we're doing. As far as the primary, we've got a very, very high status chance and crit chance weapon. 257% crit chance, 384% status chance. With the Visage Ball mod, I've technically got a hybrid Riven here. That will help, but if you don't have that, just put Hammer Shot in that slot. It's pretty much just as good, or it's close enough. And if you don't want to, if you want to Forma this thing again, or like just put a 60-60 mod here except for more status chance. Like it's called, what's that one called? High voltage. Put high voltage there. Hey, it actually fits. Okay, well there you go. Min-maxing as we go. Well, that's not even a maxed out one. Either way, more status chance is good for you. For what you want to get that, because the thing is, we're using the dog to link to our primary, because as you can see, the dog has 120% crit chance, a 9.6 multiplier, and 235% status chance. So it's a guaranteed double slash proc, and sometimes it's a triple slash proc. Here's the dog build. This is a Hurrah's Kubrow, and the main ability we're using here to stay invisible is called Stalk. You will make yourself invisible, or rather the dog will make you invisible when there's an enemy within 24 meters. Unfortunately, we sometimes kill stuff too quickly and we will lose the invis, but as soon as an enemy comes nearby, you will go invisible again. But yeah, the rest of the stuff, Mecha Recharge, part of our... We need the Mecha mods here. So this one's Shield Recharge, not as needed because we have Shield Nades for our dog, which do work on them. Mecha overdrives the one we want here. Status Link from our primary to our companion, and we also got Hunter Synergy. Crit Link from our primary to our companion. So very good there. The new Bond mod, Contagious Bond. When the companion kills the enemy, it will spread the effect in a AOE. So it's a 9-meter slash proc AOE with our doggo. So pretty good. Maul for big damage, Bite for big crit, and Medi Pet Kit and Animal Instinct are not needed. You could put more Bond mods there if you wanted to, but after some testing, I think that honestly just I want the loot radar personally, but you could maybe put on, if you were going like a weapon-focused build, you could put on Tenacious Bond there for increased damage in your Paris Prime, or you could put on like Duplex Bond for some illusion dogs that don't have as much damage as the main dog, but they can just draw some aggro. And then, Momentous Bond, if the dog keeps going down, you can revive the dog from one Eximus kill, and this build can kill Eximus very easily, unlike the Larva build. And yeah, just pretty standard stuff besides that. No link mods here because the dog will have so many shields from the shield nades. Now, one more thing before we get back into some gameplay footage. I've got the Grimoire here, and as you can see, no auger mods in the Grimoire because you don't want to ruin your shield gate, do you? But yeah, Jahu Conticle and Risk Invocation are the tome mods we have here. Jahu Conticle, killing enemy reduces the armor and shields of other enemies within affinity range by 5%. So if you use the alt fire attack of the Grimoire and you kill that enemy while holding the Grimoire with your heat turret, it will AoE armor strip and shield removal with your heat turrets. That is intended too. So let's go ahead and just release the power. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So we cast Roar. And we throw out the we throw out the Grimoire alt fire and then use the heat turrets. This will armor strip on kill. Let's hope that these don't all die at the same time, so we can actually kind of see it. You hear that sound effect? That's the Jahu Conticle going off. And as you can see, 7.2 million damage heat procs. Not too bad for fully armored enemies. Although at that point they were actually armor stripped a lot. So yeah, very, very nice. And yeah, that's going to be my main Protea build. Let's get some gameplay footage in here from Steel Path Survival. Now, where is Protea good? That's what a lot of people would ask. Where is Protea good? And the answer for that is she's very good in survival camping situations like this. You want to stay on top of your dispensary, because if you get the purple Tau Shard, get that energy. If you got Equilibrium, get that energy. Very easy right there. You don't need to run the synth mods anymore now. If you haven't played the game for a while, you used to have like used to have to run Synth Deconstruct or something like that to pick up orbs, or it may have been Synth Fiber, one of those synth mods. Either way, it's not required anymore. As long as you have Equilibrium equipped, or if you have that purple Tau Shard or purple Normal Shard equipped for energy health conversion, that is going to work. You can pick up orbs at full health no matter what. So it's very, very easy to just kill a bunch of enemies. I think I got like over 100 kills per minute in this footage. And as you can see too, you are stealthed. So the enemies don't even know where you are. And you just kind of hang out. Just kind of hang out, wait for the Acolyte to spawn. The heat turrets can kill the Acolyte. If for some reason your heat turrets are not killing the Acolyte, that's what you got the Paris Prime, the Corrosive build for. And it's just really chill. As far as some other places Protea's good at, if you want to use that, slowing Gloom build for mere defense, that can be pretty good. And let's see, for the Roar one, the Roar one's good basically everywhere. The Larva one is, again, it's okay for survivals. I just put the Larva one in here because it's a build I used to use. It's really outdated, I'd say. So, main one I recommend is this Roar build. And if you don't want to go down like the crazy doggo route, you can take off all the doggo parts, but it's not going to really be as AoE, unfortunately. You'll be relying entirely on the heat turrets, just like actually targeting things. With the dog, you're going to be getting a 30-meter fire AoE every 15 seconds, which is really, really good, and really, really powerful for that matter, too. So, hope you guys found this video fun and helpful. Protea is really good, and I'll be making a Void Cascade build for her tonight or tomorrow. I'm thinking that it'll be pretty, if you've done Void Cascade level 10,000, the builds kind of devolve into very similar things a lot of the time, so we'll have to see how that goes. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next one. I appreciate your support, and yeah, go and enjoy your Protea. As far as her weapons, the Velox Prime seems kind of underwhelming, and the Okina Prime, I have to put some more work into, but it seems pretty good. So I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, and peace.